Hey everybody!
Hey!
Welcome to Meet The Gattis.
This week we have Nigel's baby shower.
Yes.
We're really excited about it. We can't wait. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It just so happened to fall on June 4th.
Which is a special day.
Which is a special day to us because, as most of you don't know, in early October of this last year, we had a miscarriage. And June 4th would have been the baby's due date.
Yeah.
So this would technically be my last week being pregnant. And I was 6 weeks pregnant at the time that we lost the baby. Obviously it was quite an emotional ordeal and unexpected. I mean, who expects to have a miscarriage?
It was such a big deal to have people around us be able to really walk with us through that situation, because for us, although we had practically just found out that that Allie was pregnant, we had already kind of latched on, and we had become so excited about this life, and we had already been talking about names and what we felt like it was, and whether a boy or a girl, the gender, and so there was a lot of heart attachment to this. It wasn't just like, whatever, we'll just try again next time, or it really impacted us. So to have community and of family and friends that were walking with us and surrounding us and praying for us and encouraging us and wishing us well, I think that made all the difference for us. And it was, I think on my side of it, it was interesting. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it was, I think my challenge in walking through it was I didn't know what to do. And I think at some level Allie felt that too, but I guess from the perspective of a husband, I can't even begin to understand what it means to have something forming in your womb and now it's gone. So there's a certain level of loss that I couldn't even relate to. But I felt like I wanted to be able to comfort Allie in that process, but I knew that there was only so far that I could go with that comfort, if that makes sense, and that she needed other women to gather around her that could really understand her journey. And so as a man, it felt somewhat, I felt helpless, like what could I felt like I really couldn't contribute as much as I wanted to walk Allie through it, but that's where community came in, that's where family came in, and friends, women that gathered around her and just encouraged her through that time. And then through that process, she was able to be vulnerable, and in that vulnerable state, it ended up helping other people as well. So.
Yeah. Another cool thing in the process, and this was another thing that I think I read in a blog, or no, a friend encouraged me with this. She had recently lost a son as well, and she encouraged us to name him. First of all, what did you feel like the gender was? And we already knew, we felt like it was a boy. And then she encouraged us to find a name for him. And so almost immediately after I was given that advice, I felt like his name was to be Simon, and Simon means he who hears. And then I think you came up with the middle name. Yeah,
I think we have been basically talking about a few different names. So when she felt like the first name was Simon, there were a few other names that we were picking from, and one that really stuck out to me was Bellamy. And so his name is Simon Bellamy Gattison.
And Bellamy means good friend.
Yeah. So, a good friend who listens.
Yeah.
And
it was amazing. It was really powerful to definitely put a name with him, associate him with a name, because like I said earlier, he was a person, he was an individual, he had his own set of genes, he would have had his own personality, and so it was special, and I'm really glad that we took that advice. I think that catches a lot of people off guard, that losing a baby so early as 6 weeks, that you would name them and kind of fill the gender. I think it's not very common. I think most women try to sweep it under the rug and
try to move on because it kind of hurts.
Yeah, move on. It definitely hurts. So that was really powerful for us, and I'm really thankful that we did it.
And I'm glad, we were talking the other night about how, now we have Nigel who's coming, and we're super excited about him and his life, and he has a whole different set of personality and everything in front of him. And we were talking about how much that we're thankful that we got that advice to name Simon, and to really honor his life, because there is no replacement for Simon's life. It's not like, oh, well, we thought it was a boy, so now we're getting a boy, so it's all good. Like
swap.
And that's not the case. Like Simon was his own, and Nigel is his own, and we're super excited about Nigel. But we were super excited about Simon, and so I think even the tendency for us, and maybe you could talk about it, like you were talking about how you kind of thought, like with Nigel, maybe like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go into it a little deeper. So I told him last night that when we did get pregnant again with Nigel, I definitely had this mindset of, like what Kyle was saying, is that, he will take the place of Simon, and this will be the second son, or our first son and the second kid, and how I'm at the place where Nigel's almost due, and I still have my moments of really missing Simon, which surprised me, because I thought that being pregnant with a son now, I thought that I would be okay, and I thought that I wouldn't miss him as much. But anyways, we were just talking about the process of what Kyle was saying, is that Simon was his own person. He had his own personality, and they would have looked different, and they would have been their own individual people. And so there was no replacing Simon. Simon, it was amazing, and I know that he's in heaven. And one day we will get to meet him. But Nigel and Simon are two different people. And so, I can't bunch them together and just pretend like this was Simon.
I think when you experience loss in this way, I think we all try to cope in different ways. When we lost Simon, I went into this immediate, like, okay, but it's gonna be okay, like we're gonna do fine, we're gonna, we're still gonna have another child, it's not the end. And I immediately kind of went to this super positive place, because it was my coping mechanism for not going to a really down and deep depression type of place. And I think a part of that was good, but a part of that I think that was harmful, and for me, was that I wasn't able to in that moment immediately just mourn the fact that of what I just lost. Like, the reality is that I lost a son, and I needed to mourn that. And it wasn't until I let, people around me kind of say, hey bro, like, dude, you just lost, a son. It's okay to mourn that. And, and just let people in and not be afraid of those feelings. When I let people in, that's when I feel like I was able to really appropriately honor his life. I was just so excited for that as a father, to be able to raise a son and to be able to raise a man. And so when that happened, I think for me as a father, there was that grief of losing a son. Every child is a gift. I mean, an extreme blessing. So
I wanted to share with you guys what I wrote, and I wrote it the day after we lost him. So bear with me. Yesterday I lost my baby, my 6-week-old fetus baby. Yesterday I felt a lot of grace. I had a lot of peace, both Kyle and I did. Today was a little different. Today I had to call and make a doctor's appointment to schedule an ultrasound to make sure everything had come out, ensuring there won't be any infection. We had only let close friends and family know about our new and exciting pregnancy, so naturally we let everyone know what had happened. It was easiest to tell everyone in a text, so today when I was making my appointment over the phone, I said to the woman on the other line, I need to make an appointment for an ultrasound because I had a miscarriage yesterday and I want to make sure everything is okay. I said it fast, hoping I wouldn't feel it. As soon as I finished the sentence, I broke. I sobbed on the phone. The receptionist gave me her sympathies and quickly gave me an appointment date so I could get off the phone. It was my first time saying those words out loud, and it hit me like a big bus. I hung up the phone and curled up on the couch and sobbed. I had specifically waited until Eveline was down for her nap, just in case something like this happened, and I'm so glad I did. The night before, I noticed I had started spotting right before Kyle and I went to bed. Kyle and I laid in bed declaring and praying. We had a specific declaration book just for pregnancy, and we were clinging to it. I had a full expectation that everything was going to be okay. We both had such peace. When I woke up in the morning, I was still spotting a little heavier now. I had texted my midwife to let her know what was going on. She wasn't too concerned unless I started cramping. About an hour later, I had my first cramp. It was very small. I probably only had a total of 5 cramps. I immediately locked myself in a room and began to worship and declare. I was speaking to my baby, telling it that it wasn't time to come out yet. I had heard countless testimonies of women starting to miscarry, and then after declaring, it stopped. I was clinging on to these testimonies. I was going to be one of these testimonies. Again, I felt so much peace. I was so confident in healing. An hour later, when I went to the restroom, the sac came out. It sat in the toilet as I stared at it. It was the size of a jelly bean, white and round. That was the baby, no doubt. I texted the photo to my midwife and she confirmed I had miscarried. Kyle had taken the day off work, so he was with me during this whole process. God's peace filled our home. We weren't anxious and we weren't mad, we just had peace. That kind of peace that surpasses all understanding. We took a moment and prayed and thanked God, declaring that He is still a good God. Kyle held me as I cried, and Eva Lee came over and joined our group hug. In that moment, I was overwhelmed with thanksgiving. Here with us, we had one healthy, vibrant, beautiful daughter. That day in specific, her sign language understanding doubled as she added eat and milk to her signing vocabulary. We were so proud of her. Today I made the mistake of looking on Google of 6-week-old fetus. Why? I knew it would be torture, but I didn't want to shy away from the pain it would bring. I wanted to mourn my baby. I needed to see what I was losing, what I had lost. The photos wrecked me. Eyes, arms, hands, legs, and a heartbeat. My baby had all those things. At 6 weeks, it already had a heartbeat. How can something so small be so real? Even though I was 6 weeks pregnant, I had only known I was pregnant for a total of 6 days. In those 6 days, our world changed. We could not wait to add this new little one. The name choosing began. I thought about the joy of having to buy another car seat. Weird, I know. I wondered if and when Eva Lee would understand the fact that there was a baby growing in my belly. I had envisioned this new little one playing with the rest of my friends' babies. I had a home birth already planned, knowing exactly where I wanted to put the birthing tub in our living room. I pulled out my maternity clothes, even though I clearly wasn't going to be needing them for a while. Excitement filled our home and it filled our hearts. A lot happened within those 6 days of expecting baby Gattison number 2. We had been hoping to give Eva Lee a sibling for a few months now, and I was shocked when it didn't happen right away. Today was especially hard for me. I had to unthink all of the above and push it aside for another time. My day was quiet as Kyle was gone all day, and while Eva Lee slept, it left me alone with emotions pulling me down. I still knew full well that God was good, and I wasn't questioning why it happened. I know that we will never have those kind of answers. But what made me so sad was to know that I would never know what that specific baby Gattison would look like here on earth. Was it a boy like I had felt, or was it another beautiful girl? What would he, she have grown to be like? Now we had to start all over. The doctor says to wait at least 1 month before starting to try for another baby. Will people be just as excited when we tell them we were pregnant again, or will some of the excitement be tainted? I read on a blog today from another woman who lost her baby at 6 weeks as well. She said, "When I would have been 12 weeks, I announced my pregnancy. I wanted my baby to be recognized. I wanted to feel like my baby had existed. It was like the more people knew about my baby, the more my baby's existence and meaning couldn't be taken away from me." That really resonated in my heart. I don't want this baby of mine to be a secret. It deserves to be known. I still have the picture in my phone that I sent to the midwife of the sac, sitting in the toilet. It didn't feel right to flush it. It was a person and it was a baby. At the same point, it felt weird to bury it like an old pet dog. The baby deserved better than that too. I was conflicted. I stare at that picture still wondering about that baby and feeling so connected to that little white blob the size of a jelly bean. I loved it. I love it. Again, I asked the question, how can something so small be so real? Today is day number 2 after my miscarriage. I am thankful for my faithful friends and family who have been consistent in checking in on me. They know that just because the first day is over, it doesn't mean I've moved on. For those who have not been consistent, maybe they feel weird bringing it up again. Maybe they feel that the less it is talked about, the quicker I will heal. I think I would have thought the same thing myself before it actually happened to me. So I don't blame them. But for the record, it almost hurts worse when it seems to be overlooked and ignored. This was my baby, not just a fetus. This was something I was connected to as soon as I saw those 2 pink lines at 5 a.m. just 6 days prior. Today I'm feeling stronger. I'm not sure what tomorrow will look like. June 4th, 2016 will be a tough day, as I imagine how different life would have looked like if I was welcoming my new baby. Will I wait longer to announce to family and friends about my next pregnancy? I've thought about this question quite a bit. My answer is no, I will not wait. It is typical for women to wait until they are out of the first trimester, as that is when you are out of the hot zone for a miscarriage. But I won't wait. I refuse to give in to fear that I will miscarry and I will have to tell everyone our sad news once again. Fear will have no place in our home or in my body. A new pregnancy is just too exciting to keep quiet about, and I'll shout it from the rooftops. Yeah, I wrote that, and like I said, when I posted it, we got, so many texts and calls, and another friend set up a meal train for us, and we just felt a lot of support.
Yeah.
And I had my good days and I had my bad days, and it definitely took a while for it to settle in and kind of become real. But I mean, I don't think you're ever truly fully over a miscarriage. I think like I said, obviously we'll never forget Simon, and we look forward to meeting him in heaven. And so like I said, our baby shower is this Saturday on June 4th. I definitely didn't think then that now I'd be having my baby shower on June 4th. So it's gonna be a really redemptive day, celebrating both Nigel, who was coming, and celebrating Simon.
That's kind of the deal.
Yeah.
So
thank you for coming along and listening to this, and
yeah,
even this video is a part of our healing too.
Yeah, it is.
And so it felt good because I've never read it out loud, especially with the intention of others hearing me read it.
Yeah.
So anyway, it just feels good. It's a whole nother level of healing for us, and it felt good.
Yeah.
So
thanks for allowing us to be vulnerable with you, and we pray that it blesses you and encourages you. It's definitely been a blessing and encouragement for us to process this.
Yeah.
So
you will soon see Mr. Nigel baby shower.
Gatty number 3, itty bitty Gatty.
And we're so excited. So anyways, thank you again. We'll see ya.
I've had some tough times. I've had my share of pain. On the path I walked, my companion's name was shame. The storms of life sent paralyzing rain. I was lost, confused, and hurt. That's the least that I can say. Then the light broke the darkness. Suddenly